We are back here on the Choose954 podcast with Jodi, Jeffries, Tanner. Here from her beautiful Las Olas Capital Arts Gallery, which we'll tell you about in a little bit here. If you didn't know about Choose954, we started a social movement to cultivate culture and community here in Broward County, keep people to know with all the great things that are going on with the arts, and make this a better place to live, and not just a better place to vacation. Podcast is sponsored by the Thousand Mermaids Artificial Reef Project, creating artistically crafted artificial reef modules to help save the reefs, create ecotourism, and hopefully save the oceans. But without much further ado, for those of Broward County and beyond that don't know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself at a high level?
Okay, thanks. Well, first I want to say thank you for having me on today, and I'm really happy to be talking to you about a little bit about the arts and what I kind of do to hopefully engage myself and make the arts culture in Broward County a better place to live for everyone. Again, my name is Jodi, Jeffries, Tanner. I'm a native of Florida. I've pretty much grown up down here. Right now, I'm the founder and creator and curator of Las Olas Capital Arts. I also serve on the Broward Cultural Council. For a little over 8 years, I'm in my second year as chair. I also serve on the BNE's Center for the Arts board as well. My son went to school there, he went to high school there, and so I got really involved with them.
At St. Thomas?
And so, yeah, at St. Thomas Aquinas. And so I'm really happy to do that. And I'm also a board member, actually vice president of the Las Olas Association here locally. So I'm really happy to be active in the community and you know, hopefully inspire others to do the same, because anyone can do this.
I think you are, and I think we'll get into that.
Thank you.
I know it's been a very interesting journey, and there's been a lot of different parts, but if you could take us back, how do you recall, getting into the arts initially?
So that's kind of a two-pronged question, I think. Growing up, I've always loved the arts. When I was younger, I went to the theater. I went to art shows with my parents. My grandmother took me to the local theater, the Playhouse kind of thing. It was not here, but I just loved it. I adored the arts, and I just always kind of wanted to be more involved in it. I'm not so much per se an artist, because I'm not. I didn't study the arts so much, but I know I loved it. So I grew up, I got married, I had my kids, and then I, raising them through school, through elementary, middle school, and high school, I was very active in the schools, the performances, the plays, the arts and crafts, if you will, all the things you do, putting on auctions, having classrooms do art projects, and I just realized that it's so important to be part of that arts education, and I wanted to get more involved, so kind of got more involved at the school level. Then, I've been asked to serve on certain boards, and which I, agreed. I was volunteering a lot of time, and then I kind of just it's very organic. Mm-hmm. It's very organic. So I just did what I could do. I got on the Broward Cultural Council, and I was really interested in the arts education. So, and once I got a little bit involved in that, I learned about the grant processes and how local artists, emerging artists, theater, music, performing arts, visual arts could actually really collaborate with the county and other funding sources to make their passion into a business. I mean, this is what kind of I do. I try and help out where we can to kind of establish some groundwork with artists who don't know it yet, or they're learning it, and trying to help them along the way. So I got on the Broward Cultural Council to help do that, which I love. I love being on the council. And then the BNS asked me to be on their board, which is really cool, because I can be involved in the arts education aspect of it all too. But and then so my husband and I started a business. I thought, well, what could I do better with my walls than to support local artists? So that inspired me to create and found Las Olas Capital Arts,
which is where we are right now.
That's where we are.
In the office turned gallery.
Yeah.
So you've figured it out, and something that we're super proud of you for and to support you with. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the programs through Las Olas Capital Arts and how you support the arts?
Okay, so what I do is basically with the Las Olas Capital Arts is, I guess I should go back up a little bit. I go throughout the towns, the Broward County, wherever locally, and we find fantastic local artists. So ultimately the business that I have here, we've got walls to put art on, so as to how can I do this? I'll create Las Olas Capital Arts and create a scenario where I can choose an artist to install here for 4 months at a time. We would do the push out marketing, social media, all those kind of things, have a fantastic reception, help them with the social media aspect and marketing, pushing themselves out, and then have a reception. We pay for everything. If the artist sells anything, they get 100% of the proceeds. Amazing. So, and it's been very successful because a lot of the, I want to see outcomes. I go back to the artists. We don't forget about them once they've been here. We continue to promote and market them as much as we can, and we want them to get to know the community as well as the community to get to know them, and that's really important. So we find that it's been very successful with the artists locally here, and it's kind of what you do. You do this all over the place, Evan. So it's been fortunate for them that it's working, and that we can create an atmosphere that they can have an event, or they can say they've showcased on Las Olas or anywhere. Basically, we've created kind of a mold that any business can do, and I'm really happy to say I would sit down with anyone, tell them your business, anyone's business could do the Correct. Same thing. So that's one of the things, and we're promoting. We try and do advertising. We try and get press and PR and things like that, and relatively it's cool. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to do.
And that's one of the conversations that we have with part of the creative economy discussion that we'll get to in a little bit. But you have the walls, you have the space, you have clientele, you have friends, you have supporters. You built up a great track record now. This is your
fourth. This is my 11th artist.
11th artist.
11th artist.
Do you want to maybe go through the roster, some of the artists you've included?
I could, but if I just
sure.
If you have time for, we've got Hitomi Saito installing. We just had Virginia Fifield. We've had My Yap. We've had Jeremiah Jenner. We've had everyone from photographs, in here. We've had oils. We've had watercolors. Whatever basically is visual arts, I can put on the wall. I can't, I don't have space really per se for any of the kind of sculptural art and things like that. But, we're going to do what we can. But I've got some fantastic artists, and they're just really, really growing right now.
And everybody from all the exhibit openings that I've attended here has been successful in terms of either, if not selling, they've at least gathered new fans, supporters, followers, and some sales.
They've got a lot of sales. I feel like if I'm leaving people out, I feel terrible. But they've definitely had some sales, and I think it's one of the artists said to me, she says, I don't know if I have the time for this. I said, you know what? You're always going to be busy, hopefully. You need to make the time. You can do this. This is how you grow your business. And this is how you make your passion of the arts into a business for yourself. So there's always time to promote yourself and showcase in any office environment, any environment of any retail store.
And we don't take offense to it, like when I ask somebody to be part of the Choose954 Local Artist Discovery Series, or even the art fair.
Right.
They're like, oh, I'm busy. Like, okay, no problem. I mean, there's plenty of people that will appreciate the opportunity. Thankfully, you've developed a great platform here to be able to support the arts. We give you the utmost credit and kudos and respect for doing that. And if you want to tell them when the next exhibit opening is.
Okay, we've got the next one is June 20th, which is Thursday of 2019. This is Hitomi Saito. We are LosOlasCapitalArts.com. You can go on there and check out the website and RSVP to the event. And I've also wanted to include, Evan, you've been such a great friend of the arts community, and to all of us who are trying to also help, you give me a lot of inspiration. And it's just really a good thing you're doing. So I want to just tell you I appreciate what you're doing because it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. And as we're growing this art scene, it's very complementary. It's not competitive.
No.
Obviously, it's a rising tides raise all ships mentality. And I'm obviously, forever grateful for your support of
Always.
Art Fort Lauderdale and Choose954 and now Zero Empty Spaces and everything else we're doing. And I'm obviously glad to support you. With your involvement, it's a very unique position. And once again, people have walls. Not everybody is forward thinking to take the initiative to open their doors, to understand that they have the propensity to be able to serve their community, serve the artists. But you've done that, and you've proven it's a proven model, and it's been inspiration for others. What would you say are some of the why behind why you've decided to do things that nobody asked you to do, nobody pressured you to do these things? You took the initiative, you fund them, you support them, and you're not doing this as a tax write-off, and you're not doing this to market your business. You guys are fine. What's the why behind why you support the arts?
And that's really a great question, Evan. Why is because, and we've said this together, it's the right thing to do. We can, I'm going to continue to support other causes and charities and things like that, but the arts, to me, is just a benefit for every single soul out there. Anyone who can see, anyone can feel, anyone can touch, whatever, it's a benefit to everyone. I think that if we have an opportunity to create something beautiful or just an environment of something that's other than the workplace and, something that's going to be a little creative for the mind and for educational purposes, I think we can all do it.
Culturally enriching.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that leads us, you've been involved. So you've been involved on the council now for 8 years. You're a Florida native. I always say part of what I do with Choose954 to support people is nobody wants to, go to work, go home, go to sleep, and rinse, repeat. You have to have the play element of the live, work, play.
Right.
So from your time, since you've got involved in the Broward County Cultural Council and in the arts community, what is your take on the cultural landscape, the arts and cultural landscape in Broward County, either from then to now or just where it is now, or what's your thoughts on the arts in Broward?
So I'm just really excited to even tell you. I think it's just growing so quickly and so immensely. I think the local people, the local artists, the local residents, the local people that are tourists, in our city, in our county, are really getting a fantastic opportunity to see some really great stuff. I mean, from years ago, you didn't see all the murals all over the place. You didn't see the local artists creating these fantastic pieces all over the sides of the walls that really build a beautiful environment to look at. We're seeing part of the cultural division and the cultural council that I serve on. We do art in public places, and we want the airport, the port. We want everything to be beautiful, down to the the crossing signal boxes on the streets. We want people to be able to go down the boulevard or any street in Broward County and see something really fantastic, and hopefully made from a local artist.
Amen. And since I got involved just a few years ago, I'm just going to say it. This place was considered, not my term, to be a cultural wasteland, and I think we've worked to eradicate that stigma, as they worked very hard to eradicate. We were the spring break capital of the world, and I think part of what we're working to address on a grander scale, on a more macro level, is after we eliminated that spring break capital of the world image, we never replaced it with anything.
Right.
We've never really had a sense of identity. We've never really had the sense of place. Obviously, we're a great tourist destination, so that lends to the fact that we are a transient destination. We get that. But I think when you support the arts, as we've seen with the great, well-cultured communities like the Austins and the Nashvilles and the Williamsburgs and the Ashevilles, those places have embraced the arts, and now those 4 places I just named are arguably 4 of the top cities in the country because their involvement and embracement of the arts. And I feel very encouraged, probably more encouraged now than I've ever been in my whole lifetime living in Broward County. That there are people involved. People like yourself are doing great things. One of the things that has been very encouraging, that's helped establish Fort Lauderdale as an international destination to view and interact with art, has been an event that you've been attending and supporting the last couple of years with Art Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, I love Art Fort Lauderdale.
So for those that aren't familiar, and if you want to give your take on it as the Broward County Cultural Chair, and
okay, so first of all, I love you for doing that, and you have been. You know what I got to say? This whole arts community, this whole county, our state, the world. I think it's all about collaborations. And I really love the fact that how you've just really grasped Broward County and you've taken it to another level in the arts community. So thank you, my friend. And but your Arts Fort Lauderdale event is fantastic. I love it. So you know what? I don't know any other place where you can go, get on a boat, go down the intercoastal, go in front of a canal area, go to a home, see fantastic artists of all caliber. I mean, we're talking some are, starting artists. Some have been around for years and years. Some are worldwide. I know you've got some artists that are doing some really fantastic stuff from across the world. So you know what? This is fun. So the fact that you can go and you've created Art Fort Lauderdale, then you made it a week, and it's just it's something for everyone, Evan. And you know what? I don't know. We talk about it all year long. We can't wait for the next one. So, and I'm happy to support it again this year, and I cannot wait to see how it's growing bigger and bigger every year. But we love it. And those of you who haven't been there, you need to go because this is a fantastic event. Put it on your calendar. When is it?
It's the last week in January.
Okay.
It's January 23rd through the 26th. This is our 4th annual installment, and we're always continually looking to elevate the experience, to add new components. We're very excited now with our involvement with the Greater Fort Lauderdale Sister Cities initiative, that we're now starting to work with not only our sister cities and beyond.
You've gone worldwide, Evan.
Worldwide, we're starting to work with consulates, and we're going to potentially be bringing multiple countries' top contemporary artists to Fort Lauderdale, to our Revolutionary Art Fair. And this is something that we can call our own. People love, when it's Art Basel time and Miami Art Week, but we've never really had that, Fort Lauderdale Art Week, but now we do. I'll also never forget the experience that we had with the French collective Obvious that created that first AI-generated artwork, where we had a private tour.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
On the yacht, and just to pull up to a $15 million brand new construction home on a yacht and be able to, view art in a setting where it ultimately lives. That was an experience I'll never forget. So I'm glad we got to share that. That was the only time I got to go on the tour.
And you know what else I love is that you share those with everybody. Your podcast and your videoing and your taping of everything is so fantastic, because you get us an opportunity to glimpse into what you're seeing, and it's going to make us all like, let me see that too. So bring it here, we'll go there, whatever it takes, but we can really appreciate that.
It's a lot easier for me to show than it is to tell.
I hear you.
So one way that we are going to tell is we're very excited for the third annual installment of a panel conversation that I host and moderate called Art, Culture, and the Creative Economy in Fort Lauderdale, the third annual edition of this panel discussion, which is the second time that you'll be involved. I guess just real briefly, it was a very engaging conversation last year. There was great dialogue and feedback before, after the event. But I guess what were some things that maybe you would want people to know about the creative economy? Or
so when you say creative economy, it's such a great thing to hear, because everything you're doing, everything everyone does in the arts community and not in the arts community is collaborating in the creative economy. Because everything from, you want to go to a show, well, you've got an artist, you've got someone to pay the theater, you've got people in the back, the grips, whatever. There's those people. There are people who have to drive you around, maybe an Uber driver. There might be people who have the restaurant. You're going to go eat before you go to a show. You're going to get your way home. You might take your friends out to another restaurant that you're going to help local out to. So every single thing from soup to nuts basically feeds into the creative economy. And when it comes to the arts, it's all upside. Every single thing counts and everything matters. So it's a good thing.
And the report, which the Broward County Culture Division created with Americans for the Arts and Randy Cohen, the AEP5 reports showed that Broward County in 2016 for the county had a $414 million economic impact for the arts for the year, which is great. Miami-Dade County, for the 1 week of Miami Art Week and Art Basel, contributes over $550 million to their local economy for the week of Art Basel and Miami Art Week, which is more than the Super Bowl, it's more than Ultra, it's less than the boat show, but imagine the impact of having that AEP5 report was before we had Art Fort Lauderdale, it was before we had Fort Lauderdale Art and Design Week. Andrew and myself, my partner, Mr. Andrew Martineau, we've contributed over $500,000 to the arts over the last 3 years, just with Art Fort Lauderdale alone. So, think about the impact of if we could have a world-class signature art event. We have people traveling in here and spending, and it could literally change local businesses' lives or creatives' lives. So that panel discussion will be Monday, June the 10th at Pipeline Lauderdale, which is in the Regions Bank building, the same building as the Tower Club, 6:30 to 8 p.m. It is currently listed as sold out. We're trying to keep the capacity down.
You can get in, just come.
You can get in, you can some. It'll probably be standing room only. I'll also have the talk recorded, so we'll play it back. Very glad to have Jodi on the panel, my partner, Mr. Andrew Martineau, my co-founder and creator in Art Fort Lauderdale, Choose954, as well as Commissioner Steve Glassman, District 2 of City of Fort Lauderdale, who was a longtime Broward County Culture Division employee.
Absolutely.
And he actually helped, he told me when we spoke last, he helped create not only Arts Park, but Sailboat Bend Artist Loft, so he's very intimately familiar with the arts in Broward County. Where can they find you on social media, interwebs, website?
You can find me on the Broward Cultural Council. You can find me at LaSolesCapitalArts.com. You can Google me.
I think it's Las Olas Cap Arts on
on
Instagram.
Instagram, Las Olas Cap Arts. You can Instagram, you can follow me or whatever, and email me or private email me, whatever. So
I generally share on the Choose954 as well. So you can find out there, find out in our newsletter. If you don't get our newsletter, it's once a week. It's not spammy, I promise. Give you the top 12 things to do for the week within Broward County. Couple other things coming up next week. Creative Zen, our monthly breakfast lecture series, mini TED Talk that we host for free for the creative community to connect, engage, and inspire folks. One Friday morning a month. We'll be at the New River Artists Cooperative in the History Fort Lauderdale Museum, right on the river in downtown Fort Lauderdale near the Performing Arts Center. We have a phenomenal fellow Broward native, former NFL player, former or current assistant principal, motivational speaker, spoken word poet, phenomenal host, Jairus Quick the Poet Evans, who's one of the most incredible speakers I have ever seen. Absolutely moving to be in the room with him. He will be speaking. Doors open at 8:30. Talk starts at 9. We're out of there by 10. We also are going to give a artist studio tour of the New River Artist Cooperative artists, including Harmony Jones, Florencia, Twyla, that are members of this New River Artist Cooperative that not everybody knows about. So we're going to do an artist studio tour after the talk ends for free. So that'll be Friday, June the 14th. You find out more on Choose954. The evening before Creative Zen is always generally raw storytelling. The second Thursday night of the month, Creative Zen generally falls on the second Friday morning of the month. Raw Storytelling is our version of The Moth, True Stories Untold, phenomenal event that my friend Eden Delasco hosts and started.
Can you mention, empty spaces kind of thing?
I can mention Zero Empty Spaces.
Zero Empty Spaces. Fantastic initiative.
We just started an initiative with our space right across the street here.
Yeah, you're right. Another neighbor now.
We have two major issues that are affecting Broward County, one of which being there is a shortage of safe, affordable artist studio spaces. This is also the case many other places, as artists have been priced out of Wynwood, then they got priced out of Little River, Little Haiti, and then they're getting priced out of Fort Lauderdale to a certain extent. So that ultimately makes artists have to leave and go other places to live, work, create, and pursue their craft and their passion. We also found there's another issue that plagues every community. There's vacant spaces, commercial, retail, warehouse, storefront, whatever.
Every city within the county's got space.
Every city. We use art as a problem solver. So we proposed an idea to activate vacant space on short-term flex renewable leases that we can make available to artists for $2 per square foot, including the water, electricity, and the insurance, which myself and my partner, Mr. Andrew Martineau, take care of. We market it, we promote it. I've already gone on NPR and WLRN Sundial to talk about it. We're going to be leading artist studio tours. We're going to create a new art walk. We're very excited. We're about to get our first artist to move into our first space on Las Olas here.
Fantastic.
So we're really excited about that. And we're very encouraged speaking with Oakland Park today, going to speak with Coconut Creek. Dania, Hollywood wants us to develop a program. So if you have a space...
Everyone's invited for this. Everybody, give us your spaces. Give them your spaces.
If you have a space that is it's either tied up in the permit process, it's a buy and hold. Yeah. We know the permitting process in Fort Lauderdale is historically long, up to 36 months. Right. So instead of your space sitting vacant, let us activate it, put feet in the street, give you free promotion. So zeroemptyspaces.com.
Talk about the creative economy right there. It's another great initiative of yours, and thank you.
Yeah, no.
I can't wait. I'm brand new, so I'm really excited.
We're gonna have some local artists here on Las Olas, which is really exciting. So thank you, Mayor Dean Trantellis, for telling us to reach out to Mr. Mike Weymouth to give us this opportunity. It's incredible. Last one, So Far Sounds. We're still glad to support and sponsor as a media partner, Songs from a Room experience. It's a very intimate listening experience. They don't release the name of the venue or the musicians that are playing, but I can tell you every single month is one of the most incredible experiences that you'll ever be fortunate enough to be a part of. You either have to request access or RSVP to be a part of it. You can find out more at sofarsounds.com. They tell you the address the day before. They'll tell you it's in like Fort Lauderdale or what area of Fort Lauderdale. So it's not like they're sending you somewhere random, but it's a beautiful Songs from a Room experience that my friend Jen Rank hosts and curate, and it's a great platform for our local musicians to be able to pursue their craft. I'm Evan Snow, at Evan Snow 13 on Instagram, at Choose954, at Art Fort Lauderdale, at Zero Empty Spaces, at Creative Zen. Please, if you have any questions, if you're new to the area, anything, don't hesitate to reach out. We're both open books. We're glad to help.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing when it works. And save the reefs, y'all.
Get out there and enjoy.
Beautiful.